accessible event. Yeah, pay as you feel. If you're hearing the recording, you can
Sorry.
still drop us a few in the bucket, because we believe in paying for our features. Poets deserve to get paid for their creativity. So over to you, Ash, to introduce Matthew.
Thank you. Sorry for hitting the record at the worst possible moment there. Hi, everybody. Yeah, we've got an amazing feature today. It is one of my favourite poets on the scene. I've been wanting Matthew for about a year now to be one of our features, so I'm so delighted that he's come. When he comes up, I will spotlight him for everybody. I know we don't do that on the open mic, but we do it for the features. So a little bio about Matthew. If you've not heard of him, where have you been, first of all, because he's phenomenal. But secondly, here's the bio. Matthew P. Nicholson is a poet, spoken word performer, and multiple poetry slam winning champion. Pretty sure he's beaten me, to be fair. He weaves powerful poetic pieces from real life experiences, metaphorically carving himself wide open and allowing everything to pour onto the page and into his performances. Honest, raw, powerful and relatable as well. In short, a poet on the rise who you will not want to miss. Yeah, he's going to get you in every single feel. I tell you now, he's had me crying before now, more than once. So, Matthew, my darling, my amazing amigo, are you ready? I've popped you on spotlight. If you don't like that, mate, you can remove that spotlight. So, but yeah, take it away, mate.
Sorry, I'm going to try and get through this without crying. I we're holding it together until Rosie's poetry. They're absolutely unbelievable. From the heart. Right, to start off with, I'm going to go back. There's a lot of stuff that's happened in the past, and the trouble is, I've realised recently I've got ADHD. I haven't got a diagnosis yet, but with that, there's a lot of chatter that goes on, and a lot of these poems have been like voices in my head. And with that, there's a lot of conversations that you have, but you realize that after a while that you're not having conversations with any other person other than these voices and these other facets of yourself. So I decided it was time to really just start sharing and getting things out there. So the first one I'm going to do is a poem called From the Boy in the Bed. To the man in the adjoining hospital bed who directed hatred towards me when you said I was a bastard who deserved to be dead. What the fuck were you thinking? We were both passengers, innocent of blame in separate vehicles on that unfortunate day, both lucky to survive and walk away, but somehow that wasn't enough for you. I was a 14-year-old kid without a care in the world, innocently sitting in the back seat, all loved up, holding hands with my girl. The last thing I saw before I woke the next day and saw your face was a collision about to hit. Two vehicles becoming one. You spoke to me with hatred and made me feel like scum. You were old enough to know better, but you couldn't help yourself as you spat bile-filled bigotry with extreme prejudice, choosing to cowardly pass the blame after waiting for nurses to disappear, making sure there were no witnesses or folk to overhear. You planted a seed in my mind which grew into a forest of doubt. I was lost there for 2 decades, but now I've made my way back out. The damage that you started, the damage that you caused, trapped me in the wilderness for 20 years, but it traps me there no more. 20 fucking years though, man. It's been a rocky path. I want to tell you, I forgive you, and I'm taking my life back. I'm not saying I'll forget or what you said to me was fine. I'm just not prepared to let that lie continue. I don't have the fucking time. Thank you. Right, next one I'm going to skip forward to is a poem called. This is actually a pretty new one. In fact, I'm gonna hold that back, but I'll do that afterwards. What I'm going to do is one from a poetry collection that I'm finally a real poet because I got my name in a book, so apparently that matters. The Melting Pot, a mental health anthology, episode 4. I think it's the last one that they're doing. They're available on Amazon. There's 3 other volumes. They're all amazing. This one's called Saving Sanity Through Self-Diagnosis. Life felt so damn confusing, though it's starting to make sense. It's now my third day without using, catching glimpses of my old true self. I'm learning to forgive because I've wrongly blamed before, convinced that everybody hated me, exhausted, couldn't take no more. Suffering in solitude, struggling to make a sound, a creative brain filled with ideas that never make it off the ground. Still haunted by the memories of trauma from the past. It's only taken me 42 years, but I'm working on myself at last. I've been blindfolded in the wilderness without the skills to hunt. I knew I wasn't stupid or some useless, lazy cunt. Cluttered and chaotic, I'm prone to overthink. Reckless and impulsive, addiction took me to the brink, where I've sought solace in suicide, but I didn't want to die. Banging head on walls of brick for decades, because I've been living a lie. All the pointless people pleasing, desperately trying to fit in, without knowing the rules of the game of life that was rigged so I could never win. There's a fire in my belly, and I'm going to keep it lit. Setting boundaries, burning bridges. I no longer give a shit. Right, the next one I'm going to go into more light-hearted poetry. I forgot to do trigger warnings at the top. I should have just said trigger warnings for basically bearing my soul on just about everything I speak about ever. But it's okay because I got through it. So hearing about it is a lot easier than living it, believe me. This next one is called Power Struggle. I've got the flatmate from hell. He lives inside my head. He's controlling and abusive, and I swear he wants me dead. He often speaks for me before I get a chance to say, sabotaging signs of happiness. He ruins every day. He fills my heart with sadness, and he confuses my brain. He mocks me every time I gain enough strength to complain, convincing me I need him. I wish it wasn't so. He promises to let me be, but I'm scared he'll never go. He knows my every weakness, and he reduces me to tears. I feel powerless to stop him. It's been this way for years. He stops me reaching out for help. He says it makes me weak. If I do, he says that everyone will think that I'm a freak. I hide myself away. Maybe I'll throw away the key. I wonder, should I kill myself? If I did, would I be free? I turned to drink to drown him, but he kept racking up the wins, reminding me of past mistakes, upgrading them to sins. So I tried to smoke him out instead, unaffected by the fumes. He'd grow in strength and ill intent while I could hardly move. I've got the flatmate from hell. He lives inside my head. He's controlling and abusive, and I swear he wants me dead. The only way I've found so far in an effort to fight back is to face my demons sober whenever they attack. It's painful and exhausting, and I feel a little stronger. I couldn't keep on being controlled by that evil cunt much longer. Right now, his grip is tight. Right now, his grip is loosening because I've started fighting back. I'm going to put this fucker in his place when he chooses to attack. I'm not here to be toyed with, controlled or beaten down, mistreated, mocked or ridiculed like a sad old beaten clown. It's my name on the tenancy. It's me who pays the bills. Every day is another battle in this epic war of wills. You taught me about struggle. You taught me about grief. You forced me to continue when I have no self-belief. You've dragged me through all kinds of shit for far too many years. You manipulated and controlled me and exploited all my fears. The thing I never told you is that I've been watching too. While dragging me to hell and back, I've had both eyes fixed on you. I've learned about your patterns and how you operate, the way you're at your strongest when I'm at my weakest state. You'll beat me if I let you and sabotage my plans. You'll kill off every part of me just to show me that you can. But I see now, you're a coward. I know that you're the freak, because if I stop feeding you, you'll prove it's you that's weak. I've got the flatmate from hell. He's been living here for free. He's toxic and he's dangerous, but he's nothing without me. He's begging me to feed him, to enable him to grow. You've had 26 years, pal. Now it's time for you to go.
of your neck.
Bear with me, just trying to find the next one. Yeah, this is a poem. I'm not sure if my dad's in the room, if he managed to get in and he's watching it all, but in case, well, whether he is or not, this is a poem that I'm dedicating to him. It's basically about when he saved my life, to put it in no finer point. It's a poem called Hitting Rock Bottom. Nothing could have prepared you for what you had in store. A human reduced to liquid lay behind that flat's front door. Huddled in the kitchen in a heap upon the floor, all snot bubbles and drenched sleeves. I couldn't take it anymore. You looked around and stated the air inside there reeked a mix of flesh and clothing from another unwashed week. The bedroom was a dumping ground, the living room worse still, trapped inside a living nightmare beaten down against my will. With ashtrays overflowing from weed heavily drugged, rubbish piled in corners, an empty fridge unplugged. You sank into that pit with me and wrapped your arms around and held me tight and tried your best to scoop me off the ground. You watched me break in front of you. There was nothing you could say. I knew you couldn't understand how things had ended up that way. You took me back to yours and vowed to help to make things right. You supported me when I had no strength or courage left to fight. You rescued me from oblivion, of that I have no doubt. I'm sorry for the times I'd lose my rag and get in your face and shout. I lost all signs of me back then, and my mental health was a mess. Life traumas experienced I wasn't ready to address. You showed me love and kindness, tried to help me find a way to heal from pain and suffering which had crippled me each day. This is a story of a breakdown, how a life was nearly taken when I could barely dress myself or safely fry a slice of bacon. Right, I'm gonna just do one more because I think I don't want to kill everyone in the audience. I'm gonna finish off with probably one of my probably my most famous poem because it's a bit rare for me. It's a light-hearted one. It does still involve a little bit of trauma. Involved around, all wrapped around ordering a takeaway. So if anyone's ever been in this situation, sorry if it's triggering, but it is for me too. This is takeaway traumas. Like a Mexican standoff, but eyes won't dare to look, as each housemate has forgotten whose turn it is to cook. Nobody can be arsed in truth with the beers already flowing. It's like a game of poker and nobody's hands are showing. Another hour passes and faces start to frown, the suggestion of a takeaway no housemate dare turn down. Decisive action needed, so which one we're going to use, perusing 16 different menus. Christ, will someone fucking choose? French, Japanese, Italian, Turkish, tapas or Thai. One pretentious fuck wants Lebanese. All housemates wish he'd die. He says he'd have a Chinese, but they never really fill him. If he doesn't pick a curry soon, somebody's going to kill him. Why don't we order Nepalese or maybe Madagascan? Which curry do you want? Because I'm tired of fucking asking. But I don't like coriander. Then order it without. I'll give you coriander in a minute, comes the shout. Right, that's it. We've had enough. You can have a biryani. Or fuck off into the kitchen and go make yourself a sarnie. Right, who's up for a starter? Should we get a pickle tray? I tell you, if I don't eat soon, I'm going to waste away. That means we need some poppadoms. How many want a naan? I can't believe it's now 2 hours since this shit began. Everybody's struggling and the tension's getting stronger. We're starving and we don't think we can take it for much longer. I could eat a scabby horse, a housemate shouts up from the back, grabbing the Xbox controller, standing primed and ready to attack. It's getting proper serious. It's like a hostage situation. All eyes fixed on the pretentious fuck now in a state of isolation. If you were more decisive and much less of a prick, we wouldn't all be standing around feeling like we might be sick. Just dial the fucking number, ask how much it's going to cost, but remember to give directions, yeah? because last time they got lost. Thank you, everyone, for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure performing for you. Absolute joy. Thank you, everyone.
Everybody come off mute and just show you love to
Thank
Matthew
you,
P.
Matt.
Nicholson.
Oh my goodness.
I think you will see it in the
Oh,
chat.
my
That
goodness.
poem so many times.
Brilliant.
I have
Oh.
it in my head so many times, Matt, when people won't just fucking do something. And especially if they're like waiting to order, I'm like, Matt's got a poem about this, man. Oh, it's fabulous.
Mate, on that note, I'll press pause.